So for those of you that are wondering when you will receive the fourth stimulus check, just know this. New deposit dates have just been announced. But lawmakers are saying that there's a deadline for people to claim this money. There is also some new eligibility requirements to have to be met, so make sure to continue watching this video to stay up to date on this. As we all know, many people are seeking financial relief from Congress or the state government. But the good news is that lawmakers are finally taking action to do something about this. Get ready for stimulus payments. Ilhan Omar wants to implement a plan that would help families stay afloat in these economically. Omar, who is the Democratic representative for Minnesota, has officially introduced an income plan that will distribute monthly $1,200 checks to families throughout the nation. And according to the Huffington Post, with the sponsorship of Representatives Dwight Evans, Cori Bush, Representative Omar wants to create a $2.5 billion grant fund so that the program can begin running. So the program will allow for monthly checks to be sent for different communities. Once the program starts, $1,200 will be sent to adults making up to $75,000 per year and heads of households who rake in $112,500 per year. There will also be an extra $600 check for each child in the household. Those who don't have a bank account won't be left out either. The Support Act will help establish a banking system using the Postal Service so people can receive checks in the mail. Omar's hope is that legislation like the Support Act will help families meet all of their needs. Representative Omar said in a statement, "For too long, we have prioritized endless growth, while millions of people are going hungry." So while Omar is introducing legislation that will guarantee help for families in financial distress, Joe Biden is still negotiating on his Build Back Better bill. Others are pushing for monthly checks to be issued until the crisis ends, while others are recommending fourth and fifth payments. Several Change.org petitions have racked up millions of signatures urging Congress or the President to act and to provide further economic assistance to Americans. So while the White House is still negotiating, Democrats have touted the expanded child tax credits included in the American Rescue Plan. So this popular policy, everybody, has doled out $300 per month to parents or of children 5 and younger and $250 per month for children 6 to 17. And the US government has now sent billions of dollars out in stimulus relief money. But some people are asking, where is my stimulus check? And if you feel like you have missed out on the stimulus payments, just know this. Submitting a tax return this tax season can help if you are still owed a recent $1,400 stimulus payment. It can also help resolve the situation if you are missing either or both at first. For one, the sooner you put it in for any missing stimulus money, the sooner you may receive it. It's important to remember though that even though you are due a stimulus check, you could owe taxes that are more than that sum. If you decide to take a tax filing extension, you could have more time to submit your return, not to pay any money that you owe.
Thank you all on the panel for your testimony. Professor Yelowitz, President Biden and others have argued that corporate greed causes inflation. Biden quotes 17 economists to also argue that Build Back Better, a couple $1 trillion worth of deficit spending, will reduce inflation. Speaker Pelosi recently blames inflation on low unemployment. I was wondering if you could give us a little review, a little economics 101 on what actually causes inflation.
Well, I'm not a macroeconomist, so I'll say that off the bat. But basically, when supply and demand are out of whack, then prices will adjust. And in the labor market, for example, we see a worker shortage, wages are rising. Businesses are competing for workers, yet not being able to get them, even without, for example, higher minimum wages. And so, in a sense, prices adjust. They're a market signal that basically says something about scarcity. And that's likely what's going on now. We just have all sort of interruptions in the economy. And that probably is what's causing the higher prices that we're seeing.
Do you think deficit spending, increasing deficit spending, makes inflation less or more?
It certainly would increase it.
Mr. Tipton, we've been talking some about business loans, government involvement, but there are many other factors of life and what government either does to you, for you, or against you that affects how you're.
Adding up to an extra $4,000 over the next 2 years. Senator Warren said, "It's increasing Social Security benefits is the quickest way to get money out the door during an economic time like this." And the idea of boosting Social Security benefits by $200 per month was also included in President Elizabeth Warren's presidential campaign platform. The move comes as many Social Security beneficiaries feel left out. Senator Chuck Schumer Senator Mitch McConnell has also put forward a proposal that included SSI, Social Security income. However, because the plan urges and uses income from 2018 tax returns as a qualifier, it can leave out many people. We have a ton of news to go over about the fourth stimulus check. Continue watching this video to find out the latest news on this. President Biden is finally taking and helping the American people. President Biden is taking action and ready to help the people. Here's some breaking news, everybody. IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick has just sounded alarm over the agency's massive backlog of unprocessed returns, which he warned could lead to a challenging tax season. In a statement for Yahoo News, IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick acknowledged that millions of people are still waiting for the prior year's tax returns to be processed and refund checks to arrive in the mail, but committed to returning to normal inventory levels before next year. Chuck Reddick also said, "We have taken extraordinary measures to work through this time." But the big news is for people that are currently waiting to receive tax refund payments for this year. Chuck Reddick noted the agency is also grossly understaffed. And according to the Congressional Budget Office, it is 20,000 fewer staff than it did in 2010. And this is going to cause some backlog.
That was planned in the backdrop of the imminent invasion of Ukraine. That became obviously the centerpiece of the Munich Security Conference. Many of us have gone to that conference over the years to talk about security, economy, and how that relates to security, and governance, and how that relates to security. In fact, those three things, security, economy, and governance, are the purpose of any foreign travel of members of Congress. The Munich conference, it gives us a distilled way to see so many leaders from so many countries on those subjects. And at this time, of course, the focus was Ukraine. We had more than one delegation, but around 40 members of Congress, House and Senate, Democrats and Republicans, all united in our support for the transatlantic alliance, NATO, all of us united in being there to remove all doubt in Putin or anyone else's mind that we were acting as one. And of course, that would have been our message with or without Ukraine. Ukraine made it even more so, because now we're talking about sanctions and the rest. We are very proud of our Vice President our President whose leadership has been outstanding, and the message was delivered to the conference by the Vice President. It was well received, it was unifying, it was firm in terms of how we would work together for sanctions should there be an invasion of Ukraine. That another nation should be part of NATO. Like we just